Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because I'm going to be doing the test of time makeup, not really tag, but video. I have seen Mel Thompson most recently do this on her channel, and then also I believe Samantha Ravindal has done something similar. And today we're basically just going to be talking about makeup products that have been in my collection for over a year and have remained a favorite or a staple in my collection, something that I still continue to reach for, something that maybe I have repurchased multiple times. Basically products that even through all the years and all the new makeup releases have still remained a core part of my makeup collection. So if you guys are interested in hearing my thoughts on some staples throughout my collection, some OG staples, then stay tuned. First, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing before you go. I do post videos at least 4 days a week, so if that's something that interests you, don't forget to hit the red subscribe button before moving on. And other than that, let's just jump into the video. So I will have Mel and Samantha's videos linked down below in case you guys are interested in checking them out. Also, I do apologize. They are ripping up the street outside my house right now. So if you hear all the background noise and construction, I do apologize. It's been a constant battle all day as I've been trying to film. So I actually already filmed this video once, but my makeup looked so awful in that video. I don't know what was going on, and then I was like still considering posting it, but also halfway through the video my lipstick like smeared and I have lipstick like out here, so it was just a sign that we needed to refilm. So we're refilming this puppy and I'm really excited to talk to you guys about these products. So I'm going to try and go in order that I would sort of apply my makeup or do my makeup. So starting with some primers, I actually just have one staple primer that has remained an absolute fave for the last couple of years, and I'm sure if you're not new to my channel, you already know, you're already shouting at the screen what I'm gonna say. Really, I don't know, can you guys feel like the rumbling of the floors with all this? What? Okay, so the one primer that has truly withstood the test of time is my First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer. This is a primer that I have purchased multiples of. I've gone through multiple bottles of this, and this just remains a favorite. I find that all of the First Aid Beauty primers are tip-top good. Like, they are staples, and I feel like I will always have all three of them in my collection, but this is one that has been a favorite since like 2017-ish and remained like my favorite primer ever. Like, I feel like of all products in my makeup collection, this is one. This and the Jackie Aina palette are like the ones that I talk about the most on my makeup channel or on my YouTube channel. So this is definitely a primer that has withstood the test of time and remains a favorite throughout my collection. So I didn't really have any powders or concealers to talk about. I feel like there's nothing that's like truly been a withstood the test of time. I feel like I've always been on the hunt for a primer that's gonna, I feel like I've been constantly on the hunt for a like holy grail concealer. I do feel like I may have found that with a couple concealers. I have been loving the new Hourglass concealer as well as the new Kosas concealer, and I do really like the Laura Mercier concealer, but none of those have been with me for over a year. So no true test of time concealer, and same with powder. I have really been loving the Hourglass Vanish like loose powder. I don't know how long that's been in my collection though. Eventually I feel like that'll be a test of time powder that'll still remain with me, but I feel like it'd be cheating to count that right now. So we are going to move on to the foundation category, and I have 2 drugstore and 1 high-end. So my 2 drugstore foundations are the L'Oreal Pro Matte as well as the L'Oreal Pro Glow. I have gone through multiple tubes of each of these. I think I've gone through 4 or 5 of the Pro Glow and then at least 2 or 3 of the Pro Matte. Both are phenomenal. I was not expecting to love the Pro Matte as much as I do. I really love mixing the Pro Matte as well with foundations that might be just a little bit too liquidy or don't have as much of a wear time, and this really helps kind of give the foundation a little bit more wear time or a little bit more tack to the skin, and I really love this. Both of these are ones that I always want to have in my makeup collection. They're staples. I travel with these two all the time, and I just think that they are really solid foundations, drugstore or high-end. I think that they are just great, and these have been favorites for this one. I think I picked up at the end of 2017 and loved it ever since, and then this one I have had since like 2015 or 2016 and loved it ever since. So these two definitely have withstood the test of time. And then also the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I have loved this since this first released. I bought this when it first released, and this is my third or fourth jar, and I just absolutely love this foundation. It gives a very nice natural finish to the skin that's almost like a satin comfort matte with like a little bit of a luminosity to the skin. I feel like I'm gonna scream with, like, it's getting worse. They're coming back like faster and faster. This is stupid. Anyway, I love this foundation. This is just so perfect. I can get away wearing this to work. It is maybe a little bit more full coverage than I typically like to wear to work, but if I'm going out, like, this is just a foundation I know that is gonna work. It's gonna have my back. It's going to wear all day. It's not going to look heavy on my skin. It's just a beautiful foundation, and I absolutely love it. I also would have included my Dior Forever foundation in this category, but I think they've reformulated or at least repackaged, and I'm not yet sure if it's the same, but I do really love that foundation and hope that it is still the same formula. But this is definitely another one that has withstood the test of time for me. I have two bronzers. First up is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer. I mean, I have loved this ever since I got this. I think I got this in 2017 or 2018. Right when it re-released, and I've loved it ever since. This is just such a beautiful bronzer. I feel like it's such a perfect neutral tone bronzer where it's not going to pull too warm or too cool, and it's one that is so blendable that I feel like it's really hard to go heavy-handed and like look too bronzed. I mean, I love bronzer, so I truly feel like I'm like too bronzed. I mean, I'm certainly, to some people I probably am, but for me, I love to be a bronzed goddess. But I just absolutely love this bronzer. This is one that I would always want to have in my collection and continues to remain a favorite. So definitely have to mention this. And then even more of an OG is the Benefit Hoola bronzer. And I currently have the full size in the Benefit Cheekathon palette. I used to have a mini, but I finished that one up last year. And this is one, again, that I would always just want to have in my collection because it just is such a nice neutral toned bronzer that I feel like just works for me all of the time. I can use this to contour, but I can also use this to bronze, and I just really love the Hoola bronzer. I thought when I finished my mini I was kind of gonna be over it, but I truly did miss it and was happy to have it in the Cheekathon palette as well. I am currently trying to pan this one in my 2020 project pan, and I love reaching for this still to this day. So the Hoola is definitely another one that has truly withstood the test of time when it comes to bronzers, and trust me, I love trying new bronzers. So if I am still reaching for an older bronzer in my collection, even with all the other bronzers I have, then I know it is one that I truly still love. I have a couple of blushes. My most favorite is my Hourglass Mood Exposure blush. I believe I purchased this towards the end of 2018, and I just picked up the mini. I freaking love this blush, you guys. This and Buxom Seychelles are by far my favorite blushes in my collection. What I love about this blush, first of all, I just love the Hourglass blush formula. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this swatched. It just gives such a beautiful satin finish to the skin where it's not matte, but it's not like glowy. And I feel like the Mood Exposure, oh my gosh. The Mood Exposure blush in particular is just a blush that is seasonally relevant at all times. I can get away with this in the winter, spring, fall, summer. It doesn't matter. I can make this blush work for me. Not that you can't wear blush, like, not that you have to like abide by like the seasonal rules when it comes to makeup, but I do appreciate that I feel like this is just seasonally relevant all year round and just such a phenomenal blush formula. Again, I just have the mini, and I have had this in multiple project pans where I have used it so many times and still no pan. So if you are interested in any of the Hourglass blushes or any blush in general, I would recommend just buying a mini because blush truly lasts forever, and this one has definitely withstood the test of time. Another one that remains a favorite for me, and I feel like remains a favorite for so many others, is the Tarte Party blush. That was the birthday gift for Sephora in 2016, maybe 2017. This is just such a nice neutral blush formula. Again, I feel like this is a blush shade that you can really get away with all year round, and this is a blush formula that truly lasts on your cheeks all day. Some of my blushes just really don't have that lasting power, and 3 to 4 hours into wear, it's like, okay, I really don't have a flush to my cheeks unless I'm gonna go pinching them. This one lasts all day, which I can really appreciate. Again, I just have a mini and we're nowhere near pan on this guy, and I do still reach for this from time to time. I would still say that this is a favorite of mine within my collection. I definitely have blushes that I prefer over this, but I do still love this blush, which tells me it is a test of time blush. And then I could not mention Becca Flower Child. I love this blush and have loved this blush since I purchased this, I believe in 2016 or 2017, when Jaclyn Hill was raving about this and could really sell me on anything. This is just such a stunning blush, especially like if you guys, it doesn't look like it, but the true rage I am feeling right now. Whew, I'm gonna need to meditate after I finish filming this. Okay, so here is Becca Flower Child. I hope that you are able to see that swatched. It is just this beautiful sort of pink melon sort of shade that offers, again, sort of like a satin glowy, just flush to the cheeks. And I love to wear this one in the summertime because it offers that glow to the skin. I used to feel like I could only wear matte blushes, but I've kind of gotten away from that and definitely prefer a satin or more glowy blush these days. And this one is just absolutely stunning, and I have loved this ever since. This has survived many declutters. I also wanted to include, I believe it's Wild Honey from Becca, but truly, like, this is the one that, like, really has withstood the test of time and always been an absolute favorite within my blush collection. So had to mention that one, and those are the blushes throughout my collection that I really feel like have withstood the test of time. For highlighters, I have two. One of them I feel like is just like a staple OG. Everyone would possibly say this, and it is the Mary Lou Manizer from The Balm. This is what mine is currently looking like. I am working on panning this in my 20 and 2020 project this year. This just remains such a staple highlight throughout my collection. Just such a perfect champagne highlighter, so beautiful, and one that really can not necessarily be subtle, but you can get away with it being like a little bit less intense, and then you can build it up to just be a beautiful beaming highlight as well. It's just one of the most perfect champagne shades as far as highlighters is concerned for my personal skin tone, and this has remained a favorite since I bought it, which I believe I bought this in 2016. I think this was my first highlighter that I ever purchased, so definitely has withstood the test of time. And then this is a more recent purchase, but I believe I have had this for at least a year and a half. This is the Fenty Beauty Kilowatt Highlight in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. As you can tell, I have some major pan going on the more subtle of the two sides. This highlighting shade, specifically the subtle one, is like my most perfect highlighting shade ever. If they sold this in like a full, like if it was just like this whole hexagon was just the Lightning Dust shade, I would purchase 5 of them to just always have them. I do also like the Fire Crystal side, which is a little bit more glowy. Let's see, where can I swatch this? It's really beautiful. I prefer to just wear the more subtle side to work, and then if I really want to amp up the intensity, I will go in and add that Fire Crystal side. Just such a phenomenal highlighting formula. I have gone on to purchase other shades throughout this collection because I love the formula so much. This is one that when I finish that subtle side, I will repurchase, and this is one that I plan to always have in my collection, as well as the Mary Lou. So both of these, test of time, products. This next one is kind of random, but this is truly a test of time product. I have had this since April of 2017. This is the ABH Brow Powder Duo. I have mine in the shade Ebony. I have been using this just about every day. Every day I do my makeup, with the exception of like the last month or so when I've been trying to use darker brown eyeshadows in my eyebrows to pan some shades. But look at how much pan I have, and still, like, this is going strong. When I finish this, I will replace this. I absolutely love this. I'm just like a brow powder type of a gal. I don't really like to be bothered with pomades or pencils. This is just easy for me, and this is something that's been in my collection for over 2 years now and continues to be just an absolute favorite of mine. So had to mention this one from Anastasia. For eyeshadow palettes, I could truly only think of one that's just like really stuck out in my mind. You guys might be able to guess this one. It is the Tartelette in Bloom. This is an OG, truly in my collection, one of my first high-end palettes. I believe I purchased this in like April of 2016. I have 4 pans in this palette, and this just remains like a staple. Like if I just need a quick, simple, no thought needs to be put into it look, this is the palette that I will reach into. I feel like I need to replace this palette because I definitely feel like some of my shades are drying out and just don't perform like they used to, but I still love this palette. It still holds a very special place in my heart and definitely has withstood the test of time. I still think that this is a great palette, especially if you are a beginner or someone who just likes simple neutral looks. This is a really great palette, so definitely had to mention that. This was the standout for palettes. I mean, I've had a lot of my palettes for multiple years, but this is one that like truly I feel like has just remained a favorite throughout every year and every new palette that I bring into my collection, so I definitely wanted to mention this. I have 2 sprays that I have been using for the last 4 years or so at least. One is the MAC Fix Plus, just a staple in my collection. I've gone through many of these, and even though it's really just like a water, there's just something about the MAC Fix Plus that I feel like is irreplaceable in my eyes and something that I will just always want to have, even though it's basically just expensive water to spray on your face. I love it. It's a staple. It's definitely withstood the test of time. And then also the Urban Decay All Nighter. I've even tried to replace the Urban Decay All Nighter, and yet I still keep coming back to it, meaning it definitely is withstanding the test of time for me. I have gone through probably 5 or 6 of these within the last few years, and it just remains the best setting spray in my opinion to really lock down your makeup and make it last all day long. So these are definitely 2 sprays that have been in my collection for many years, many replacements. Definitely a test of time withstander. All right, and then we're gonna wrap it up with lips. I have 2 gloss formulas. One is Marc Jacobs Sugar. I don't feel like I could ever get myself to declutter this, and I feel like if I finished this or if this went bad, I would have to repurchase this. There's just a sense of nostalgia with this, and I really like that it is just this beautiful, like pale nude gloss that I really feel like just adds something to just about every nude look. This just pairs so well with everything. I still love Sugar to this day. I have had this in my collection since like 2016, so this is pushing 4 years. I know, it's probably expired, but it still smells nice. It doesn't have like a funky smell or anything, so I'm gonna keep using it. A little more updated, a little bit more recent is the Fenty Gloss Bomb. I believe I picked this up at the end of 2018 and loved this throughout all of 2019. Currently, my favorite shade is Sweet Mouth, but I also just love the original. Hot Chocolate is another good one. This one right here is Fussy. Such a standout formula. It's not sticky, and it's just unique in a way that I feel like it just changes the way a lip look can look, or a lip color can look. You can use it to warm something up. You can use it to cool something down. Diamond Milk, such a unique formula as well. So beautiful, just like tapped onto a lip look. Cannot recommend the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb formula enough, and it's definitely something that remains a favorite. I continue to buy any new shade that releases. Absolutely love it. For liquid lipsticks, the Dose of Colors formula in general, not necessarily a specific shade, but just the Dose of Colors formula has been my favorite liquid lipstick formula since like 2015 or 2016 when I first tried these. It's just one of the most comfortable liquid lip formulas that I have found. It has a nice moussey texture, very easy to apply, a really nice shade range, and I just love these from Dose of Colors and continue to keep adding to my collection. Every year I add a couple of shades, so definitely have been continuing to repurchase the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula for years now. Tarte Rum Punch, you guys, I can't remember when this first came into my collection. It was either 2017 or 2018. There it is swatched right there. Just one of my perfect favorite nudes. I love that it's more of like a cool toned brown nude, and I just love the way that this looks on the lips. If/when I finish this lip product off, I will repurchase it because it is one of my favorite shades. And I also love the Tarte Rum Punch formula. It is very hydrating and very comfortable on the lips, but it also has a good lasting power to it. I'm very impressed with how long these last on the lips. They don't transfer, they don't get all over your face, they don't get on your teeth. It's just a very nice formula and one that I have continued to love throughout the years. And then finally, I have one other liquid lipstick that I wanted to talk about as a test of time product. I think I got this in 2016 or 17. This was Everything's worn off on mine. This was Little Weapon, and it was in collaboration with Alexis Ren and ColourPop. You guys, this is my favorite, just spicy, hot, fiery, red-orange shade. And I'm sure this is expired, but it doesn't smell bad, and it continues to just work fine on my lips. I love to have this this is my go-to for the July lip color, and I love to wear this all summer long just because it is such a unique shade in my opinion. I don't have anything like this throughout my collection, and it has remained a favorite red shade in my collection since the moment I brought it home. So I had to mention that. But after that, those are all of the products throughout my makeup collection that I feel have truly withstood the test of time. We know there are makeup releases being pumped out every single day towards us, so in this overwhelming world of makeup releases, these are products that have still remained favorites as I have tried hundreds and hundreds of new makeup products. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below what products have withstood the test of time throughout your makeup collection, what remains favorites that you have owned for years. I would love to hear from you guys. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and supporting my channel, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye!